Hey everybody, this is Trey with BlackFalconElectronics.com and welcome to my Patreon page where I go into more detail with my videos and my projects, show you guys exactly what's going on, as well as post different articles and statements about what I have coming up on the website, BlackFalconElectronics.com. So, for this video, I'm actually going to be talking more about Project Castle Guardian, or my automated home security system. Now, if you look at the previous videos, you would have seen that I had the solar panel project situated, the Satcom unit good, but let's talk with the details about the RF unit, since that's the biggest thing, the RF and the Satcom unit. So here in this board, I have everything written all out nice and beautifully, and I have some stuff I'm going to draw as well. But I want to go ahead and explain how this is going to work. All right, so the biggest thing, the first thing, most important thing while doing this is to have the RF signal itself. What is it going to send? How is it going to send that signal? So first thing it's going to do is you're going to have your sensors. You're going to have PIR sentry, your window and door sentry, and you're going to have your camera sentry as well. When they detect an alert, it is going to first send the signal, meaning the HC12, the radio unit, is going to have a random number generator first. So it detects an alert. It detects someone, for example, opened up a door. Then it waits based upon a random number generator. So let's say it's going to be from 0 to 1 second. So let's say after, it does that random number generation and it decides from 0 to 1 second, it waits 500 milliseconds before it decides to send a signal. Okay, cool. So after that random number generation, it sends that data to the panel. That panel is obviously what controls and is connected to everything, and is basically the main processing unit, so to speak. It routes to different signals to different places. So when it sends that data to the panel will then use a random number generator for the channel selection. So then once it says, let's say, a number between 1 and 5, and it gets 4. So then it's going to say, okay, we're going to use channel 4. Then the panel switches to that channel to monitor for interference signals. So the thing is, it can select that channel, but that doesn't mean that there is nothing on that channel, on that frequency, on those airwaves. So what it does is, when it selects, say, hey, this is where I'm going to go, this is the channel I want to select, it then goes to it and listens and see, is there any interference? Are there any signals being propagated right now? And if there is, then they should try and do something else. So then it goes back and it does another random number generation. Then it goes on that, and it does it again. And it goes back and does it again if it detects interference. But if there is no interference detected, then it moves on. So it switches back to the previous channel, and then the panel saves that data to be saved as a variable. So it saves whatever that data it was going to send, saves as a variable, and then the panel orders whatever unit it was supposed to order to that channel. And then once it does that, it sends the signal 4 times and listens 8 times. So it sends the signal 4 times. It says, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then it listens to see, is there a response? Did it hear me? Did that unit get the information I was trying to send? And then it keeps doing this. Now let's say the unit that it sent the signal to received that signal. The unit would reply an acknowledgement and say, hey, I received that signal. So then once it does that, there's an alternate, like a little breakaway. Now, if there is no acknowledgement after 3 talk listen cycles, then it throws an alert to the Satcom unit. And then that Satcom unit will then alert me, hey, a unit is not receiving a signal for whatever reason. So then, when I look through my emails, I can see, okay, when I get back home, I need to see what's going on with that unit, do a little bit of troubleshooting and whatnot. But assuming that unit does reply that acknowledgement, they will both then switch channels to whatever that channel was for the random number generation. And then the panel sends that order to the unit. Let's say, for example, it's camera turn on. Then the camera will turn on. Then the unit acknowledges and processes that order. So the panel sends a signal saying, hey, camera turn on, to the camera sentry in this situation. And then the unit responds and acknowledges, hey, you said to activate the camera, turn the camera on. And then from there, both units return to that default channel, whatever that communication channel would be, channel 1, 5, 7, 9, doesn't matter. Whatever that default channel is, it'll be sent to. Now, we talked about the whole process of a signal being sent, but what is that signal exactly? Now, here we have, and sorry for that, if you hear the sound, that is my puppy playing with his duck. I will actually go take that duck from him so we can continue on with the Patreon video. Alright, so now we're back. I had to take the duck away from him. He is now trying to get in the room because he wants his duck back, but he's not getting his duck back right now. I have a very demanding puppy dog. I will probably show you guys at the end of this video. I will show you guys my puppy. Since you guys are subscribers and you get to see all this, hidden stuff, you get to see more details for my projects. And you know what? You get to see my puppy. I will show you my puppy. But after the video, so keep watching. So like I said before, we talked about the signal that is being sent, the entire process of it being sent, from the time that an alert is detected to everything going back to normal once the signal has completed processing. But one thing we didn't talk about is the signal breakdown, and that is what is within that signal that is being sent back and forth between the different units. Now, I call it the OR target data, and what that is, your OR part, your ORE, like OR, like in Minecraft, for example, your ORE stands for order, reply, and echo. Those are going to be 3 categories that the signals will fall into. Your O stands for your order. That is requesting info or telling something to do something. So let's say you have your panel and then you have your Windows Sentry. The panel wants to know if the Windows Sentry is operational. So what it does is that it sends an order where it's requesting info. It's going to say, hey, Windows Sentry, are you online right now? Now, from there, the Windows Sentry can reply one of several ways. One could be to send a reply, which is a response, obviously, saying, hey, yes, I am online. Or it could send an echo. And an echo is validating info. It just repeats what was sent, which is another way of the system confirming that, hey, it did, the information that was sent out to the target was received by the target because it replied back to the sender, being the panel, and now it knows, okay, yeah, it does work. Now, a better example would be for my ARCS Plus units. Now, the order could be sent from the panel to say, hey, send me your information, and then the reply from the ARCS Plus unit could be what the information is. It could be the temperature, humidity, the barometric pressure reading, things such as that. That would be a reply. And echo would be just sending that information back so that the sender knows that the information was received. The echo and the reply are kind of interchangeable in that you can use both of those types of signals to confirm that information was successfully sent and received. Okay? Now, your next thing would be target. That is the name of the target system or the unit. Now, the name of the target system or unit would basically be who are you talking to. So let's say everyone is in a circle. You have a group of people in a circle and everyone's talking, but you don't know who is talking to who. So that would be like me, Trey, saying, hey, Reginald, here's the information. Or, hey, Stacy, here's the information. That's what your target will be. So that when the unit receives the information, it identifies the ORE code as an order, reply, or an echo. And then from there, it reads the target. If it's the target, the system that receives the information, if it's the target, then it processes that information. If the unit is not the target, then it doesn't send that information and doesn't process it. All it'll do is just clear it. Just delete it like, oh, wasn't talking to me, so it's not my business. Next is the data, and that's whatever the information is. So, you have the category, is it an order, reply, or an echo? What system are you talking to? And what is the information that is being sent? And that'll be the signal breakdown that'll be sent when there's an alert or when there's any type of communication between different units and the panel. And the panel isn't in itself a unit, but it does a lot of the routing of information, confirming does something work, does something not work, or what have you. And that is the panel is one of the main pieces of the Castle Guardian system. Now, your next thing is you have the signal that'll be sent, and this is the process. You have the breakdown of the signal. But now this system is, dependent on something happening. The problem is, what if I were to leave the house and I forgot to arm the system? Now, the panel is where I would go in order to arm, disarm, enable, disable different units. But let's say I walked out of the house and I just totally forgot. How is the system going to arm itself? That's what I would like to do. So that's why I have the auto arm feature. Now I have written here the auto arm feature is when PIRs and doors / windows detect no movement in this situation for 1 hour. Now it could be any time period, but around 1 hour of no movement, no heat detection, no doors opening or closing. I think that's a good time to say, hey, I don't think anyone actually is in the house. Now, when it does do the auto arm, there will be two types of arming. One is going to just be normal arming, and another is going to be lockdown. Now, arming is when the windows and the upstairs door to my upstairs to get into where I live is closed. So the windows have to be closed, and the one upstairs door has to be closed. That's just arming, just basic arming. You could still, you would still have a detection if someone walked around the house, but everything else, windows can be open, things like that. Doors can be open, that's okay as well. Now, lockdown is a different category. Lockdown is what happens when all windows, doors, everything has to be closed and no one is in the house. Now, again, I'm going to be using passive infrared sensors which detect heat, and they're going to be in every room. So if it detects that no one is in the room, no doors are open or closed, there's been virtually no activity within the house for 1 hour, it arms itself. Now, I could have it so that after 2 hours, if nothing is detected, no doors or windows or anything, everything has to stay. I'm probably going to do this, where everything has to stay in its present state. So if a door is open, that door has to stay open. If a window's closed, it has to stay closed. If anything changes, then, there's a difference. There's a change in the lockdown procedure. Then all hell breaks loose. The siren goes off. The Satcom unit activates. It sends me the information saying someone's in the house, what have you. Now, I really think that it would be a lot more beneficial just to have lockdown be safe for me to activate. Because if I activate lockdown, that would mean, in my mind, that I am leaving the house. And since I am leaving the house, my dog found another squeaky toy. I'm not sure if you can hear it. I now hear it. He has found another squeaky toy. I will not take that squeaky toy so that you guys are encouraged to keep watching until I am done so I can show you my puppy, but he found another squeaky. It's probably his little monkey toy, but in any case, so that'll be locked down. Now, when alerted, the Satcom sends a signal and monitors for a response once every 10 minutes for 30 minutes, then once per hour for 5 hours, then returns to normal and checks at different time intervals. Now, the reason why I have it check for response once every 10 minutes for 30 minutes is because the siren is also going to go off. So I want, if there's a lockdown or if there's any kind of alarming, that it sends the alarm. The Satcom unit sends me the information letting me know that that the house has gone off. That it has detected a presence, an intruder, and now it's going off. And then by checking every 10 minutes or so, that gives me enough time that if I'm doing something, I'm out, I'm on a trip somewhere doing something, that I can now send the information to it saying deactivate. So that's what it's doing when it's checking once every 10 minutes for 30 minutes. It's giving me time when it's first going off to get that signal, receive that email, and respond to it and say shut down. Now, if I do not respond, then it's going to check once an hour for 5 hours, and then from there it just does its normal check. So that, let's say I'm going on a long trip, or let's say, I'm doing something that takes a lot of time to do. Let's say I'm at work or something. Within those 5 hours, I should have gotten a break by then. And at that point, then it'll know, hey, this is my fault. This is the fallback to turning the sensors off, to turning the alarm off, because the alarm is going to kick off. And while the authorities may not be activated, they may not be alarmed, the alarm is still going off, and it is loud and it is painful, and it's going to disturb everyone. Like, even the neighbors will hear that alarm go off because it is going to go fucking crazy. Now, like I said, if it falls back and it's been over 5 hours, then it's just going to go back to doing its normal checks every couple of hours, and the alarm's still going to go off. So the police at that point, especially if I'm going to have a siren outside as well as inside, cops are going to get called. They're going to visit. Hey, there's an alarm going off here. Knock on the door. Hey, what's going on? And also, if there is an intruder, they're going to hear the alarm, and they're going to be like, all right, got to kick rocks. Let's go. But obviously, I have my cameras everywhere, and they will pick up whoever's here. That would just be extra deterrent for anyone who decides to come inside my house and activate my automated home security system. Now, another thing is the Satcom unit, the communication from the Satcom unit to myself. Now, for it, because I have to pay for every single message that is sent, that is why I limit it so that it's not constantly sending me information. It's just sending information in increments because I have to pay for every single message. Now, for Satcom to myself, I only wanted to send alerted items. So I don't want a full brief on every single system that is here and what's its status. So I don't need to receive a message saying, hey, the window sentries are all doing good. Hey, the camera sentries are all doing good. The door sentries are all doing good. This and that is all doing good. I only want a message for all the things that are going off, for all the things that are alarmed or alerted or need some kind of detection. That helps save me money, and it's also easier so I don't have my email blasted with a whole bunch of information that honestly doesn't mean anything to me and I don't care about. And then next is send project info once a day or when outside tolerances. So for my ARX Plus units, they are managing the heating, ventilation, and cooling for my animals. But I don't need to get a report saying everything is nominal. If everything is nominal, I don't care. I really only care if things are not nominal. Again, it's a cost savings thing, so I can save money and not spend a bunch of money for data that just tells me, hey, everything is good, by the way. I just needed to tell me if things are bad. Now, maybe send a test signal every now and again, but overall, I don't need it to send me anything. I don't need it to send me everything, like every little piece of information. It's just unnecessary, okay? So we have covered a lot of information. Last thing that needs to be covered is the health check. The panel does a health check on all units every 3 hours, and the Satcom unit does a check of the panel every 6 hours. So that means that the panel will check every single system every 3 hours to make sure that everything is working. If there is a situation where there's a unit like a camera sentry or a door sentry that is not active, it'll send that signal to the Satcom unit, and then after a couple hours, it'll just send that information to me, letting me know that, hey, something isn't working, as I stated previously. But the Satcom unit will also do a health check on the panel itself to verify that it's actually working and that there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if the Satcom unit detects that there's something wrong with the panel, I will immediately get a notification about that, because if the panel is down, then everything else is not really communicating. Now, I am thinking about having a system situated so that even if the panel's down, other things can activate as well. You can still have the activation, deactivation. But as of right now, what I'm really focusing on is building up this whole signal process from the time that the signal a unit detects an alert and that whole communication to building up the protocol for the ORE target data so that the signal, everything communicates correctly and communicates effectively, as well as with the Satcom unit. So I will in the future do more upgrades with the code so that it can do more things, has more capability, and is more resistant to being taken down by someone simply unplugging the system. But as of right now, for what I'm trying to do for setting up the baseline, the foundation, and the initial structure for Project Castle Guardian, these are all the things that I need. So that's been quite a long video that you guys have watched, and as promised, I am going to go get my puppy dog, and I am going to show you as a reward for watching through this entire Patreon video. Let me go get him right now. Okay. Come to bed. Oh. Hey, Atlas. Hey, buddy. And here he is. This is Le Puppy Dog. This is Atlas. He is obviously a very active, very happy German Shepherd dog who has his duck now. So now he has his duck. He will not stop squeaking it. Hey, Atlas. Hey. Hey, baby. Okay. Oh, he's such a good boy. Sit. 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 Good boy. He's such a good boy. He's about 12 weeks now. He's the cutest little thing. But, yeah. I got him not too long ago. Had to go out of town to pick him up. It wasn't super expensive, but at first he was a very quiet dog. Very quiet. Didn't really want to mess with anyone. But now he is very clingy, very attached, very lovey-dovey. And he loves that goddamn duck. So yeah, this is him. I'm going to have a buddy for him in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys see him. He's very active big dog. And he's just a puppy, but man, he is powerful. So yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I will have more Patreon videos up and ready and start populating it. But in the meantime, please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, and encourage them, as well as like my YouTube videos so that we can help the algorithm. And if you really want to support me, please consider buying an electronics kit. I'll have the description and the link for my Sparrow programming kits in the description of this video. And I'll see you guys later. Have a very blessed day and a very safe weekend. Bye.